Distinguished citizens of Bihar, respected elders, youth of this historic land, and fellow architects of India's future. Today, I do not come before you merely to speak about politics or capital. I come before you to speak about destiny. Because Bihar is not an ordinary state. This is the land that gave the world governance before modern states existed. This is the land of Chanakya, who taught statecraft to civilizations. The land of Gautam Buddha, who gave humanity a philosophy of consciousness. The land of Aryabhat, who measured the cosmos when much of the world still feared the dark. The land of Nalanda University, where knowledge traveled across continents in search of wisdom. And yet today, millions of our people still leave this sacred soil in search of dignity, employment, healthcare, and opportunity. No civilization declines because its people are incapable. It declines when governance loses imagination. For decades, Bihar has been trapped between memory and potential. We debated caste while our youth boarded trains. We celebrated slogans while industries disappeared. We distributed promises while villages drowned in floods. We normalized migration as destiny. But I say to you today, migration should be a choice of ambition, not a compulsion of survival. The greatest tragedy of Bihar is not poverty. It is the institutionalization of lowered expectations. And that must end now. Because Bihar does not lack talent, nor labor. It does not lack intellect, nor resilience. Bihar lacks one thing: a system designed to convert human potential into economic power. And that is what the next era of governance must build. Today, I present not a speech of emotion alone, but a governing blueprint, real architecture, and an expectation for execution. Because governance is not poetry unless it improves human life. So let's begin with the first transformation, from survival economy to productive economy. The future of Bihar cannot be built on migration, subsidies, and dependency. A state of Bihar's scale cannot survive by exporting labor while importing prosperity. Every district must become an economic engine with measurable productivity targets. Darbhanga and Muzaffarnagar must become agro-processing and food export hubs. Gaya must become a global spiritual and cultural tourism corridor. Begusaray must emerge as an energy and manufacturing cluster. Bhagalpur must become a modern textile and silk innovation center, and our dear Patna must become the governance, fintech, and knowledge capital of Eastern India. No district should survive on subsidies alone. Every district must produce wealth. Let us together build integrated industrial corridors connected to freight rails, logistics, and national economic routes. Let's establish plug-and-play manufacturing zones with time-bound approvals. We must create also a Bihar Diaspora Investment Authority to bring back Bihari entrepreneurs, engineers, doctors, and investors from across India and the world. We should support MSMEs through state-backed credit guarantees and rural enterprise clusters connected to the digital marketplaces. And let me say this clearly, the future economy of Bihar cannot be built only by government jobs. A society cannot become prosperous when millions compete for a few thousand vacancies. The government's role is not merely to employ people, the government's role is to create an ecosystem where enterprise becomes an inevitability. The second transformation, from broken systems to human capital. The true wealth of Bihar is not beneath its ground. It walks on 2 feet. But far too long, our systems have failed our people. An education system that produces migration instead of innovation is failing its purpose. A healthcare system that depends on geography is failing human dignity. A governance system weakened by corruption and administrative leakages weakens public trust. This must change fundamentally. I repeat, a fundamental change is needed. Every government school needs to be digitally mapped and performance audited. Teacher recruitment should be transparent, merit-based, and technology monitored. AI-enabled classrooms and multilingual digital learning systems must reach rural Bihar. Every district necessitates advanced skill institutions aligned with the industries of the future, including, but not limited to, artificial intelligence, agri-tech, robotics, renewable energy, logistics, healthcare technology, and advanced manufacturing. Now, for the establishment of the Nalanda Human Capital Mission, not merely to produce graduates, but to produce innovators, researchers, administrators, entrepreneurs, and nation builders. At the same time, we need to implement a statewide healthcare transformation. Primary health centers call for digital integration with infrastructure, telemedicine systems connected to India's leading medical institutions. District hospitals require upgrading into modern diagnostic and emergency centers. Medical professionals serving rural Bihar should receive housing support, performance incentives, and an accelerated career pathway. Because a poor mother in Sitamarhi deserves the same dignity as a wealthy citizen in Delhi. And let me say something that governments are often afraid of. Corruption is not merely financial theft. Corruption steals years from human lives. Therefore, every major public project must undergo independent technical auditing. Government expenditure systems should become transparent and digitally monitored. Tendering and procurement systems need to be technology-driven to reduce collusion and leakage. The past precedent set for institutional corruption must face fast-track accountability mechanisms. Development cannot coexist with normalized dysfunction. Now, for the third transformation from reactive politics to strategic governance. Year after year, Bihar suffers floods that destroy infrastructure, agriculture, livelihoods, and hope. And year after year, governments respond temporarily instead of strategically. This is not merely a natural disaster issue, it is a governance issue. We ought to implement river basin management systems using satellite mapping, predictive analysis, and climate resilient planning. It is essential to the building of elevated connectivity corridors, flood resilient infrastructure, and water retention ecosystems that convert disaster into agricultural advantage. We recommend establishing district level disaster management command systems integrated with real time monitoring technology. A developed Bihar cannot remain hostage to seasonal collapse. But beyond infrastructure lies something even more important: the political culture, a systemic dismantling of previously set normative agendas, because Bihar must rise above the prison of caste arithmetic. Identity does matter. Social justice also matters. Representation matters most. But no child eats caste, no village survives on symbolism, no economy grows on division. The next political revolution of Bihar must not be caste versus caste. It must be competence versus collapse, performance versus paralysis, and the future versus fear. My fellow citizens, the world is entering a new era of geopolitical and geoeconomic restructuring. India is emerging as a decisive global power in manufacturing, digital infrastructure, strategic diplomacy, and civilizational influence. So hear me carefully. Eastern India will become the next strategic growth frontier of India. The state that positions itself first wins first. Bihar has the demographic scale, the geographic position, the agricultural base, intellectual legacy, and labor power to become the growth engine of Eastern India. But this requires political courage, not transactional politics, instead transformational politics, not management of poverty, creation of prosperity, not governance by election cycles, governance by generational vision. And to the policymakers of India, to economists, planners, institutions, and the national leadership who watch Bihar so carefully, understand this: if Bihar rises, India rises differently, because Bihar represents the unfinished economic question of the Indian Republic. A developed Bihar would not merely transform one state, it would alter migration patterns, labor markets, eastern faith systems, food processing networks, industrial geography, and the social architecture of India itself. This is not a regional project. This is now a national strategic imperative. And so today I say to every young Bihari, do not merely ask what Bihar failed to give you. Ask what your generation must build that previous generations could not. History is watching us, not because Bihar is weak, but because Bihar is awakening. And when Bihar awakens, it does not whisper, it reshapes civilizations. The next chapter of Bihar will not be written in the language of backwardness. It will be written in the language of capability, innovation, discipline, enterprise, dignity, and vision. Because this land once illuminated the world, and a land that once gave light to civilization can never remain in darkness forever. Mark my words, the coming era will not ask whether Bihar can rise. The coming era will ask, who was wise enough to recognize Bihar's rise before the rest of the world did? The new Bihar will not beg for relevance. The new Bihar will command it. And under a courageous, modern, development-driven government, Bihar shall not merely change its future. Bihar shall redefine the future of India itself. And on this note, I'm reminded of one of my lifelong favorite philosophies. Yatha drishti, tatha srishti. Let the awakening begin. Thank you very much for your time and your patience.